In today's episode, we're talking resort hopping during the holidays at Walt Disney World.
I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
You are listening to the Main Street Magic Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy Stein and John Marone.
Due to technical difficulties, this may sound a little bit different than some of our other episodes. Must be because of flash photography. Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and I'm joined by my friend, co-host, and a lover of all things Christmas, John Marone.
Hello.
In today's episode, we're going to talk about Disney resort hopping during the holidays. Please check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at mainstmagic. So at the time of recording this episode, we're in the first week of November, but we know that already, day one, basically after Halloween, Disney's prepping for Christmas. So they're prepping, department stores are prepping, and oddly enough, my wife and I prepped as we sit in our house now recording, and we've already, it looks like Christmas threw up on our house. So we just wanted to follow along kind of, I guess, and keep up with Disney. But so we want to talk today about what you can do and see at the resorts during Christmas time. We know that the parks are all decked out. We know that there's special events that go on. There's special shows. There's the Christmas, Mickey's Christmas party with special parades and fireworks. But we really want to dive into how you might want to spend a day outside of the parks if you're visiting during November and December. And John, you've been going during the holidays for, 45 years now. So really, I kind of want to hear from you about the types of things you grew up seeing and doing at the resorts, and giving some insight on what people can expect if they want to resort hop and maybe the best ways to resort hop.
Yeah, that would be great. I think it's an excellent use of a day, right? While the parks are decorated and everything, some of the resorts just look magnificent for this time of the year, and you don't want to skip them. And it could be an easy way of, I'm at the Magic Kingdom or at Epcot, I could take the monorail and hit some of those resorts. And we're going to talk about those, what ones to hit, what ones not to. If you're at Epcot or Hollywood Studios, does it make sense to walk out the back gate and be able to go take a look at Beach Club, Yacht, Boardwalk? So we're going to talk about all those. And the good thing that I like about it is everything is pretty centrally located. The one thing we're not going to hit too much on is a value resort, right? A value resort is going to have some decorations, but it's not enough to take part of your day. You're staying there. Great. You're going to see a tree. You're going to see some decorations, but it's not what the deluxes are.
Not worth that extra stop or time.
No different for the moderates. And it's interesting now because, right, two of the moderates are just, construction areas. So I'm sure that they're going to do great, but it seems like the moderates just do a nice tree, garland through the lobby. And, for the most part, that's it. It's the other resorts that we want to talk about.
Yeah. Well, and we haven't stayed at the deluxe resorts during the holidays. I remember though being there at Wilderness Lodge back in July, and we did the free tour that they offer some of the mornings, and the tour guide was talking about what that resort looks like during the holidays, and and that how many people come specifically to somewhere like Wilderness Lodge just to see the big tree and all the decorations. So it really got me thinking, when we go in here, we're actually heading down this weekend, and then we'll be back in December, making sure that we take the time to check these types of things out. You used to spend, Christmas time at the Contemporary. Let's start with the monorail loop, and what can people expect at each of those resorts, and which one would you suggest they probably spend the most time on if they're going to check out, the monorail resorts for Christmas decorations specifically?
So we'll start with the Contemporary then for going on the monorail loop. And back in the day, and so now this is going back to probably the 70s, early 80s, the Contemporary's decoration is their big tree is outside. So if you're taking a bus, monorail, you're heading to the Magic Kingdom, you're going to see their tree. It is not inside the lobby. It is outside right in front of the resort.
Okay.
But inside the lobby, what they used to do is that's, the A-frame hotel, rooms on one side, rooms on the other, and the whole middle is wide open. They used to hang a tree made of tinsel, I guess is the easiest, from the roof of that resort,
Oh, wow.
and it would stretch from, whatever floor. I know it's 15 floors, but it would be underneath that because of how the building is designed, and that would hang down to just above the 4th floor. So it was enormous. So
Yeah.
you're doing the monorail going past. I mean, that tree was just giant. It was just tinsel, and it was pretty neat to see. Now what they do inside the resort is everything has kind of gone to the gingerbread display themes.
Yeah.
So if you go up to the 4th floor, right outside of the store that's set up. So one half of the 4th floor, you have Chef Mickey's, the bar. You also have the other quick serve restaurant there. On the other side, you have the store in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Right next to that is they put a display, and the display is just a giant display of chocolate, gingerbread, and believe, if I'm correct, the last 2 years it's been themed to Frozen.
Okay.
And then they
Makes
have a
sense.
line there where you can walk through and you can buy treats.
Yeah.
Right? You can buy gingerbread cookies. You can buy, hot chocolate or apple cider or different types of drinks. So worth it. On the monorail loop, probably the second best place to go to.
Okay.
Not the first, because the display's nice. Get some pictures of it. But that's really it for into the resort, right? Other than trees and garland here or there. If we leave the Contemporary on the monorail, after we stop at Ticket and Transportation, we'll go to the Polynesian. The Polynesian is another one that probably my least favorite on the monorail.
Okay.
Again, garland, tree. They have had periods of time where they've done a gingerbread display, where they haven't. It hasn't been a lot to do there.
Yeah.
So it's one of those that if you're pressed for time, it's okay if you skip the Polynesian. Look online, find some pictures of the tree and that, you'll be okay. But, if you hit the Contemporary, great. But the one that you're going to want to stop at, obviously, is you're going to want to stop at the Grand Floridian. So the Grand Floridian now, their display, when you get off the monorail and you walk in, when you're on the 2nd floor, and you're going to see 2 Christmas trees immediately on the side that kind of frames the lobby,
Mm-hmm.
and then straight in front of you is the giant tree.
Yeah.
So they have a great big tree there. You usually have a PhotoPass person there most of the day, so if you are on a PhotoPass that you have it for your package or your band,
Nice.
get the family dressed up, wait in
Yeah.
line, and be able to get a picture right there in front of the tree. Most people, there will be times where when people look at the dates and see when it's going to be built, they build a giant gingerbread house in the lobby. And people will stay up all night in the lobby watching them build it. It's a great thing to be able to see, but when you go in there, this gingerbread house is big enough that it actually has a store inside of it. So 2 people work inside of it selling little miniature gingerbread houses that you can buy that are already decorated,
Yeah.
cookies, drinks, the such. But throughout that house, there are hidden Mickeys. So usually the Mickeys are painted in like gold leaf, and they're
Okay.
just little Mickeys, and they're throughout the tree. They'll tell you on the board how many pounds of chocolate and sugar
Yeah.
and every gingerbread they use to build it, and they'll also tell you how many hidden Mickeys are there. So if there's 20 of them hidden through there, you get to go around all 4 sides of that tree and try and find the different hidden Mickeys.
Oh, cool.
So it's it's festive there. Just the Victorian theme, plus add the Christmas display with it. Kids love it. It's something to see. So you got the tree for the photos. You got garland everywhere. Another great place if you're looking for pictures and want to take them on your own is their staircase is beautiful, which goes from the 1st floor to the 2nd floor. And the banisters are all wrapped in garland on the way up. So to be able to even get the kids, I've seen so many pictures and done it myself where we get the kids on the staircase there and take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful, picture to take for them.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot to do there. That is the one, if you can only see one resort decorated for Christmas, it's the Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
If you're on the monorail loop, the second one is going to be the Contemporary. Last one is going to be the Polynesian.
Okay. And then, really, depending on where you're staying, if you're staying on property, you really have, I guess, 2 options to hit it too. Either go straight from your resort and take the bus to Magic Kingdom, and then go ahead and do the loop there. And you really could go either way. You could head to Grand Floridian first, or do the full loop and do the Contemporary and Poly and all. Or if you're brave, just drive to the transportation and ticketing center, park, hop on the monorail, and then do the same type of loop. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like there are some options to do that, and certainly you could, maybe it's one where you've got tickets for the Magic Kingdom and you spend the morning there, and there's a Christmas party that night that you don't have tickets to, so you do the resort loop, or do it, vice versa. Maybe you got Christmas party tickets for that night, so you spend kind of the morning and early afternoon doing the resort loop, finish up with the Christmas party. So you and I had started talking when I go down in December. I've set aside a day for me and my family to check out the resorts. And so I started making a list of kind of a detailed plan of how to spend a day having, kind of the best, I guess, resort hopping day ever in a sense. And so I want to get some of your thoughts on our plan and if this will work, and then I'll be able to report whether it worked or not. So we are seeing The Last Jedi at Disney Springs at 10 a.m. on the day that it opens. So we figure we'll wrap up there closer to 1, have previews and a 2-hour-long movie. And then we wanted to basically head to Wilderness Lodge. Walk through Wilderness Lodge, even if it's a quick walkthrough, just see the lobby, see the trees, see the decor, hop on a boat to Magic Kingdom, and then start our resort loop. If everything goes as planned, we're thinking we can end the night shooting over to Epcot and checking out the candlelight processional that evening, and hopefully getting there early enough and just getting in line. I don't think we're going to book a dinner package or anything. We're going to kind of take our chances on that evening. There is a Christmas party the evening that we're doing this. We may decide last minute we're going to go to the Christmas party and then end our night there, but we're staying at Caribbean Beach. So my biggest concern is getting over to Disney Springs and then over to Wilderness Lodge to kind of start this tour. Buses start 45 minutes prior to opening of Disney Springs. So 9:15, movies at 10, cutting a little close for bus transportation for me. So what with our thoughts in mind, and of course we're going to hit this movie, what way should we look at probably getting around from place to place? Because I don't want to spend a bunch of time on Disney transportation if we don't have to.
Which you have the advantage because you drive there.
Yes.
And I'm always going to say the car is the best form of transportation, especially if you have specific times.
Yes. Yeah.
If you do not have a car there, and now you are dependent upon you're dependent upon Disney transportation.
Yeah.
If it is monorail, great. If it is bus transportation, you might want to consider at least an Uber, or if you're at a deluxe resort that has the minivan, to consider that for at least part of what you're doing. Right? To be able to tie up some of those. So if I'm tight for something, just Uber or minivan something, and then I can take transportation later if I'm just going from resort to resort, or I'm trying not to, I'm not pressed for, I have to be here at X. Yeah. So for your day, I say that you start at Caribbean Beach, you drive to Disney Springs, and you go see the movie.
Yeah.
When the movie is done, you then drive to Wilderness Lodge. When you're at Wilderness Lodge, and we didn't talk about this one because it's not on the monorail loop, but it's one that's right there.
Right.
One that I go to every single year. So Alexis is now 22 and Johnny's 19. I have pictures of those two in front of the totem pole, I think almost every single year that they've been born.
Yeah.
So they, our first one, so they would have, both were born in August. So their first December, they were 4 months old, a little bit earlier, 3 months old, have them propped up, in front of the totem pole till today.
Right.
Just seeing them grow over the years. So we try and do the same thing with the twins as well. The tree at Wilderness Lodge is great when you want to see the fact that that resort has kind of that, it's the wood, all the wood, so it's dark in general. No matter the temperature outside, you're going to feel cooler in there, and it's going to feel more like the season.
Oh, yeah.
Decorations are great. The other thing that I tend not to miss is, again, most people focus on that fireplace on the lower level, where when you walk in, it's in the back, and it's a great big fireplace with rock work that goes all the way up to the ceiling. But there's two smaller fireplaces in the lobby, and if I'm correct on the floors, they're on the third and fourth.
Yeah, I think so.
And sometimes there's not people there, but it's a great place to go take pictures of the lobby from.
Oh, yeah,
And it's also looking down onto the tree and everything, so you see everything from up there, as well as just taking picture. There's couches and different things, so you can move the ottoman and different stuff and just get pictures in front of the fireplaces that are there, which are on. So I like, we like going up there and not only taking pictures of the lobby, but taking pictures of the kids in front of those fireplaces.
Yeah.
So it's a good place. So if I finish then at Wilderness Lodge, I then have a choice. Well, my choice is easy. I want to do the monorail loop. So I have two choices. My first choice is I could take the boat to the Magic Kingdom and then hop the monorail. But my first choice would be I would just take the boat to the Contemporary.
Oh,
so
okay,
you have the smaller boats that run between Fort Wilderness, Wilderness Lodge, and the Contemporary. I would just hop on the boat, go straight to the Contemporary, walk in, knock that one out, now take the monorail, where I can make my choice. Am I hitting the Polynesian or not? If I have plenty of time, sure. If I'm pressed for time, skip it, go straight to the Floridian.
Yeah.
When you're done at the Floridian, you're going to want to do, to me, if I want to continue this whole theme of resort hopping and looking at decorations, you want to get to the Epcot resorts. So Yacht and Beach, Boardwalk, and I bring Swan and Dolphin into it as well. You have a choice now in that I can now hop back on the monorail at Grand Floridian, take it to Ticket and Transportation, and then take the monorail to Epcot. But now I have to walk through the whole park to get to the back.
Right.
Or I could just leave. I could.
Yeah, well, we've got the car at Wilderness Lodge.
You got the car at Wilderness Lodge, so then you can take the boat back to, go take the monorail or the boat from Grand Floridian back to Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
And then take the boat to Wilderness Lodge, get your car. And if you took your car, you'd want to go drive and, to me, park at the beach resort if you can.
Yeah. Then you're at that back entrance.
Yeah, and then you're at the back. Gateway. Yep, you're at the back entrance there as your choice. So what resorts do you want to see there? You want to see the Beach Club.
Yeah.
So the Beach Club has traditionally done not only a tree, but their gingerbread is a carousel that usually has 4 or 5 horses on it that are Disney themed. Again, hidden Mickeys throughout it. The carousel moves, it works. So all around the carousel is just all poinsettias on the ground, and then you have the carousel. This actually used to be at the Floridian before they started doing the house.
Oh, okay.
That's the first place that I had seen that display, and now they moved it to Beach Club each year. So that's a great thing to see. The kids love it.
Yeah.
Yacht is sometimes hit or miss. They've done incredible displays in the past, and then they followed it up where they do almost nothing other than garland and a tree. So it's a walk, right? You're going to walk through all those resorts. So if I started at Beach Club, I would do Beach Club, walk to Yacht, see what they have, walk then to Dolphin. I skipped the Swan, but when you go into the Dolphin, you want to go see their tree for the sheer size of it.
Okay.
And the train that runs around it.
Oh, cool.
The train it's a giant train. I don't even know what class they consider it, right?
Yeah.
Lionel has all the different class trains.
Right.
I don't know what one this
probably
is.
That Walt Disney side, that one he used to ride around in his backyard in. I don't remember what size that is, but yeah.
Pretty close.
That's awesome.
Pretty close. So it's great. The kids can see it. There are certain times of the day that Santa is there as well.
Okay.
Meeting kids and taking pictures. I am not sure off the top of my head if that is actual photo pass, but I think that is more just tied to Dolphin.
Yeah. Okay.
You can skip Swan, go check out Boardwalk. And for Boardwalk, what you're going and looking at for them is they do a nice little display. It's not big because their lobby's not huge. Yeah. Most of the DVC lobbies are a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
But their lobby's not huge, but they do a nice display that has little trains, there's a lot of little hidden Disney stuff throughout it. It's almost a giant square of mountains with all types of moving things. So you see little people skating in one little scene, in another scene,
that's awesome.
and some of the stuff is cut into the mountain.
Yeah.
So it's neat. It's just neat. So it's a display, though, that if you had enough room in your house, it would fit. So it's not enormous like some of these other ones, but it is very detailed. So that's so that hits the whole Epcot.
Right, yeah. So if now and again, it's all going to go by time that day, and we may decide to skip the poly earlier and make up some time. But if it came down to kind of getting to the evening, I believe the candlelight processional, the last one is at 8:15 that night. If we had to pick between making it in and trying to do the candlelight processional or hitting beach and yacht and dolphin and boardwalk, which one do you think is worth it in the end, knowing that, hey, we might not get an opportunity to see these things again till next year?
Beach is most important.
Okay. All right.
So I think beach is the best.
Then we can maybe do candlelight, or if we're really cutting close and we're worried about getting in line, then we just finish the resorts. We miss the candlelight, and we try and specifically schedule for Doogie Howser next year. I think would be the way to go. I think when we're planning on going, it's Trace Adkins. So at least it's somebody I've heard of, which is pretty cool. But so I think this will be interesting. That's a lot of good information to try and hit everything in one day. And I mean, short of us potentially going into Epcot for the processional, we wouldn't have stepped foot in a park. And it still sounds like, that sounds like an awesome holiday.
Yeah, I mean, just the display, seeing them is just great. I mean, you're especially you for the first time seeing it, or the kids seeing it.
Yeah, we've never seen any of them.
It's that amazement to them because you're going to end up taking more time trying to pick out the details and looking at it.
Right.
The only deluxe resort that we didn't talk about is Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah.
And
how are you going to get there and back and not spend hours?
Yeah, it's so far out. Their display is nice, but you're not missing anything.
Right. Yeah.
You're not missing anything. So, to me, if you want to get into the Christmas season and resort hop, Grand Floridian by far is number one. You then would look at, to me, you'd want to do Wilderness Lodge just because of the theming.
Yeah, it's got to just feel like the holidays in there. I mean, it felt like the holidays in there in July without any Christmas decorations because, like you said, it's a little bit darker, it's cooler. I mean, when you look out those big, that from, I don't know, what is it, 5-6 stories of windows that look out over, the lake. I mean, you feel like you're somewhere else and you're in the Northwest and it's Christmas time or it's at least winter. Yeah. So those and then it sounds like beach is a must.
The last thing too is because I focused everything. If you were coming in on the monorail or the boat to Grand Floridian, when you're done, take a walk outside the front entrance because they have some lighted reindeer and stuff outside that just looks nice against the building. And if you're close enough to Christmas, if they still do it, and usually they do, it used to be pretty much the whole Christmas season. Now they reduced how long they do it, but you usually have somebody out there roasting chestnuts as well.
Oh.
So as you walk in, you can grab a couple chestnuts. Kids hate them. They taste vile.
Yeah. But you still got it.
Right. I remember the...
I don't think I've ever had a chestnut.
Yeah, you're not missing anything.
Okay.
And I'm sorry to all our chestnut fans out there.
Yeah.
But, you're not missing anything. I remember being there once with my mom, and it was so cold. All she said, get as many as you can, and she put them in her jacket pocket just to keep her hands warm.
That's too funny.
So,
that's awesome. So that's a good option then. All right.
Yeah, not a bad option. So for the most part, that to me kind of wraps it up. So much to do, but again, it's another thing that you don't have to be, if you have the time, you don't have to be a slave to the rides.
Yeah, that's great, and that's what we're going to plan to do. And we're going to spend some time in the parks that weekend a little bit as well. But we're really kind of revolving everything around The Last Jedi and experiencing some different Star Wars opportunities as well as this holiday. But I know you guys are doing Christmas party in December, which we've talked about so much before, and it's a must-do if you can afford it. But one of the new things they're doing this year at Hollywood Studios, which hopefully we'll get a chance to check out, with you guys or separate on our own, is the Sunset Seasons Greetings, which is the new projection show I don't know if it has fireworks and lasers or not, but it's at least they're lighting up Tower of Terror. And so I think anywhere along Sunset Boulevard there, you should have a good view of this new show. I'm a big fan of the projection shows. I think they're really cool, and obviously they're adding that to everything now. I mean, Happily Ever After, it's probably 60% projection and 40% fireworks. What are some of the other things in the park, aside from the Christmas party? What's your other must-do in a park during the holiday season?
Well, sadly, I shed a tear since we don't have to worry about Osborne lights anymore.
I know.
Can't believe this is year 2 already.
It's
but
crazy.
That was a must for everybody.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a year that I ever missed it.
Right. And there's nothing like that.
Yeah, nothing like
you
that.
Can't even describe. Pictures don't do it justice. Unbelievable. Now, I wonder if they'll bring it back to Grand Avenue when all of that is done. There's not near the amount of space there, but I don't know what the rest of the entrance to Galaxy's Edge will look like. So, I mean, they've got to be sitting in a warehouse, I would think, somewhere.
Yeah, you would think. So, I don't know. It'd just be interesting. So I know the Sunset Seasons greeting also has a video display that goes along with it.
Yeah, they put new
characters.
LEDs, I think, up on top of some of the buildings as billboards that are supposed to be part of the show.
Yep, that are part of the show, and the characters, saying seasons greetings and different things. So that's part of it. So it'd be interesting to see that. Epcot is interesting for the kids because as you go around to the countries, they have their story of Christmas in each country. Yep. So they can sit and hear Father Christmas tell a story or that, which is interesting. If I'm correct, I think I heard a rumor that I forget, it's bad when I forget what they call it, but they used to have I almost called it an awning, but they had all the lights that you walked under at Epcot. Yeah. That's supposed to be back this year.
I've heard rumors, and what I saw, and it was a few months ago, somebody saw some images of possible new trading pins that included those arches again, and the name escapes me too.
I know.
But yeah, they said that they thought they saw them on a pin, and therefore could they be coming back? I've never seen them in person, so I would love to see that. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. I'm excited for Epcot during the holidays. Last year, I don't feel like we spent a lot of time there when we went last year. And then again, down to projection shows, the Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam at Hollywood Studios, which lights up, the Chinese theater and the surrounding buildings, and it's got lasers, and it's from the Prep and Landing little TV series. They have the 2 30-minute specials that come out every year with the elves, and so it revolves around that story. But I think that's a fun one to check out too.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom, great, whatever. They have a tree outside the park.
Yeah.
They used to do their parade and then theme it towards Christmas, but the parade's not there anymore.
Yeah, I wish something would come back.
Yeah, so you're really not seeing anything at Animal Kingdom. Epcot, we just talked about. Hollywood Studios probably has the best for just your regular ticket.
Right.
And then Magic Kingdom, you have the tree, you have the decorations down Main Street, you have that, but it is really built around the Christmas party.
Yeah.
So, and you almost wonder how much of that is by design of we have no rides at Hollywood Studios.
Right.
We got to get you in here somehow.
Yeah, you got to make up for it. And so, they've added this other show. So we're going to try and check out the Sunset Seasons greetings this weekend, so hopefully we'll be able to report back on that. And then come December, we do our trip review after that. I'll let you know how my somewhat impossible day went. And it'd be a lot different if we weren't seeing the movie that morning. We'd have that extra time, but I think we can knock this all out. So we'll see.
You can do it.
Yeah, it'll be. I believe in ourselves. So we'll see how it goes. But thanks again for listening, everyone. Make sure you subscribe to our show on iTunes. Leave us a rating and review, and head out to Facebook and Twitter at MainSTMagic. Let us know what your favorite thing is to do at Disney during the holidays, whether it's a show, it's in a park, it's a resort. Go ahead and comment or post to those pages there. That's all we got for now. We'll see you real soon.